What's up? I'm Nick Marino, and I'll be talking to you about Hereditary. Hey, is this movie review gonna have spoilers? Okay, cool. I'll let them know. Yeah. Hey man, how's it going? Yeah, it's gonna have spoilers. This movie is fucking crazy. If you watch any of the trailers for this movie, it completely throws you off. Because in the trailer, it's talking to you about this grandma who died. And so when you're going in to see the movie, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a horror movie about a grandma. But when you watch the movie, the grandma is only mentioned like in the beginning and the end. You're already thrown off because the trailers told you it was gonna be this thing, and it's not that. It has one of the greatest plot twists. The whole movie begins with a main focus on Charlie, and there's all this dark music that's playing every time we see shots of her. So you're in your seat just like, yeah, I figured it out. That's the fucking crazy person. That's the demon child. But then, 30 minutes into the movie, she gets decapitated. Literally killed. And then you're just like, oh fuck, she's dead? Hold up. This is fucking weird. That moment when she fucking dies is so intense because you don't even see her head until the morning after. It's like a 2 to 3 minute shot of Peter's face, but it feels like an hour. That whole scene is focused on Peter the entire time, so that we could just see how he feels about the situation that happened. And that actually makes that moment even darker. It's less about the death and more about how that moment affects Peter and affects the family as a whole. And that's pretty much the rest of the movie because Charlie's death literally sabotages the entire family. In most exorcism movies, there's always pooping and vomiting. But this movie doesn't really have that. Instead, there's crying. Crying is instinctual, just like pooping and vomiting, except it's less seen in movies and it catches us by surprise when we see Peter crying like a baby. And it still produces the same uncomfortable effect. Ari Aster didn't just want to make this movie about the devil because everybody does that. So instead, he did his research and he made this movie about Paimon, who is essentially a real biblical figure, but just less well known. Paimon is essentially one of the 8 kings of hell. Basically, in order to summon one of the 8 kings of hell, you have to make a sacrifice of 3 decapitated people, which is essentially the Trinity, except it's reversed because they're decapitated, so it's the anti-Trinity. And they all have to be females, because that's part of it. This is all like loose information. If anybody knows how this actually goes, you can write down in the comments section. This movie is an exorcism movie, but it doesn't really feel like an exorcism movie because the mom is basically grieving for her daughter and she's just trying to find a way to move on. And because she's trying to find a way to move on, she's doing anything and everything to just find the answer. And in the seeking of that answer, she just stumbles across this weird ritualistic thing. The movie was shot really in this fast-paced manner where at the end of it, you're just left with like all these questions about who those people were, who was that demon at the end. But the reason it was shot that way is because not everything in life has answers. And in a sense, that makes it more real. It makes it more real when we don't have the answers. Because in real life, you don't always have the answers right in front of you. Also, this movie starts out inside of a dollhouse. In the hallway scene at the school, when Peter is running away from the thing that's following him, and we see the glare kind of engulf the entire room. That glare is identical to what you would see a magnifying glass do when light projects into it. That glare symbolizes this idea that there is something out of our control, hence Paimon, who is controlling these characters' lives. Just like the mom sculpts the miniature homes. In most devil movies, the demon is like this monstrous, disgusting creature, and we really can't fucking relate to it on a personal level. But what's cool about this movie is that Paimon was inside of Charlie the whole time, from the very beginning of the movie. And Charlie is a really scared, awkward girl who's just trying to fit in. This movie just made the devil figure more human in a sense because of that. Why is it called Hereditary? It's called Hereditary because basically every member on the mom's side of the family has some sort of mental health issue. The movie linked mental health issues with witchcraft. And in doing that, it sort of made a statement on how people with mental health issues might be perceived. So that is it, guys. That's the movie Hereditary. It's fucking insane. Until next time, my guys, it's your boy, Nick A. Marino, in the house. Have a great day. Peace out.